They were daughters, sisters, friends. They were loved, but their lives were tragically cut short, not because of who they hurt, but because of who they were. This is the story of four transgender women whose lives were brutally taken by those who once claimed to care for them. Behind each story lies a chilling truth about prejudice, fear, and violence. On July 17, 2021, 20-year-old Taya Ashton's body was found in her apartment in Maryland. She had been shot, and the man responsible for her death was her boyfriend, Dylan Price. Taya's relationship with Dylan seemed to be going well, but everything changed when he discovered she was transgender. According to the court documents, Price was furious when he learned the truth. He shot Taya multiple times, then tried to cover up the crime. It was a senseless act of violence triggered by fear and confusion. In the end, Price was sentenced to 60 years in prison with 12 years suspended, which means he'll serve at least 48 years behind bars. But no amount of time behind bars can bring back Taya, whose life was stolen far too soon. In 2015, in a small town in Mississippi, a 17-year-old named Mercedes Williamson was brutally murdered by her boyfriend, 23-year-old Joshua. Mercedes and Joshua had been dating for months, but their relationship was kept a secret. When Joshua's gang members started asking questions about Mercedes, he panicked. In a fit of rage, he lured her into his car, drove her to a secluded area, and stabbed her to death. His reason? He couldn't handle the fact that Mercedes was transgender. Joshua was convicted of first-degree murder and became the first person to be sentenced under the Federal Hate Crimes Prevention Act for killing a transgender individual. He received a 49-year sentence, but Mercedes' family will forever feel the emptiness left by her loss. In May 2020, Selena, a 37-year-old transgender woman from Chicago, met 18-year-old Orlando. They spent the evening together, laughing, talking, and getting to know one another. But when Selena revealed she was transgender, Orlando's reaction was chilling. Orlando left her house, but hours later he returned. This time he came armed. He broke into Selena's home and shot her in the head, not once but multiple times. When the police arrested him, Orlando told them he couldn't stop thinking about Selena's revelation, but instead of walking away, he chose murder. Orlando was charged with first-degree murder and is now awaiting trial. Selena's death was tragic, and like so many others, it shows just how deadly intolerance can be. The year was 2008, and 18-year-old Angie lived in Colorado. She had a bright future ahead of her and an infectious personality that could light up any room. But when she met Alan online, her life was about to take a tragic turn. Angie and Alan began dating and they seemed to be connecting. But when Alan discovered that Angie was transgender, everything changed. He became violent, beating her with a fire extinguisher and leaving her body to be found in her own apartment. In the hours after the murder, Alan stole her car and fled the scene. Alan was arrested and later convicted of first-degree murder, as well as committing a hate crime. His conviction marked one of the first times a hate crime charge was applied in the case of a transgender person's murder in the United States. But no conviction could ever fill the hole left in Angie's family's heart. These four women are just a few of the countless lives tragically lost to violence rooted in hatred and ignorance. Their stories, though heartbreaking, are not just about the way they died, but the way they lived, as bold, beautiful individuals who deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and love. The fight for justice continues. We must remember these names, not just for the lives that were stolen, but for the world we still need to change. Share their stories, share their names, and help create a world where no one has to fear for their life simply because they are who they are.